Hello, today we're going to be building a fishing hut just to be able to sell some of the fish that come in on the new rowboat that we've built up from the docks. So I'm going to build out a nice sturdy stone brick foundation with a floor just to make it both more sturdy and more easy to clean thematically. As you wouldn't want a wooden floor in the middle of an area where you're selling a lot of fish, so that would be difficult to clean properly. We're gonna have it right down here, right by the waterfront in the flattest area. That does mean we're gonna have to remove a bit of the set dressing, like the bushes that I just got rid of. Now, you could add mossy cobblestone, because there is a decent amount of caves in this area, which is why I'm able to harvest enough stone to make a stone brick foundation comfortably. And some of those caves are lush caves with a lot of clay and a lot of, well, moss. If you can't find any lush caves or moss, even after wandering traders come through, you could always just cook the stone bricks again. Because something not everyone knows is, by just cooking the stone bricks again, you get cracked stone bricks, which can add a little bit more variation. So I want a bit of a stone brick entryway here. Yeah. And then I'm going to build up just these outside pillars by one block so they connect to the oak fences. This entire area after this will be essentially self-sufficient for as much as it likes, apart from adding maybe a mine and a blacksmith. This area will be able to expand into proper housing and a proper place for just the village leader to call his home, to help build up the town a bit more. For an area like this, we want the entire first layer to be enclosed stone brick. And then I'm going to build up a chimney on one of these walls later, when I build out the second floor. But we're gonna have to wait and see which area ends up becoming that. As the second floor, I want it a bit. I'll add one more layer before doing the second floor to give it a bit more room, because I do want to add stairs to the edges to allow for a bit more of a connected look. As I'm going to be using half slabs for the main center portion. There we go. And this just helps the next floor connect to this one better. Go. Now the outside here. I think I'm going to do the outside in wood. It's kind of near dock area. Yeah. Raise it up one. first stair along the border, and then next to the pillars. And I'm going to connect this to the other side using half slabs again. This allows you to waterlog these steps and half slabs without them running out to different areas if you need to in the future, or if, say, you want to jump from the top floor down to here in a cinematic section. It also gives like a wet texture when you're walking across it. Fill in that so I can do the stairs. And I'm gonna leave a fence section just here so you can open it up, either fish or if the boat gets moved to dock directly here. And now the stairs to the next area. Stairs are always simple. Just put a second set of stairs on the underside. And I think, yes, I'm gonna have a cleaning table down here. Now, this game, unfortunately, doesn't have anything smaller than a sword that you can set out as a kind of fish cleaning knife, so we're just gonna have to go with something like that. Luckily, the swords do shrink down a little bit to fit into the item frames. The closest thing to a gutted fish we have is a cooked cod, because it's descaled and you can see the insides. And you can add a little bit of redstone as some blood residue, just to add a little bit more feeling to it. Next, I'm just going to fill in the next floors with the slabs. Looks like the thunderstorm stopped just in time for the new day. This is going to be a pitched roof, as always. After this little camp will well and truly be a village. I know I've been going between calling these camps and villages as they expand, but until now they've been more camps than villages. But after this, it's gonna be essentially fully self-sufficient. So it goes from being a camp that needs to import things from different areas just to deal with its day-to-day, to a fully self-sufficient small village. As we've only got one residential block so far, and we'll have to expand that out, along with the blacksmith and a couple other things. Nice sturdy wood pillars, but here, I think, yeah. I'm gonna put the chimney here. Now, this is the first chimney that I've built out of any of the villages, and this is because this is the first time where I felt that the village that I've built up could comfortably have, say, a substantial amount of stone to the point where stone masonry becomes possible. Because though you could do a loose cobblestone chimney, because we don't have access to things that appear as mortar, it's not as functional. So, need a close that up, and then just build up this back layer. I'm gonna have this as a 6 wide at the base, then moving to a 4 to cover the back, and then moving as a 2 to cover the smokestack, with one side peeking up over the other. I'm gonna use some stairs to make the slope more gradual. There we go. And I'm gonna need some just base walls in here, as this is 1 block lower than the floor below it. It's not that big of a problem just to fill in with planks. It's already got a lot of variation from the bottom floor being completely different material to the top. Work on the pitch of the roof. Not quite as much of a pitch as I usually do, but with this chimney here I need to make some modifications. And then it's just the normal stair base across. There we go. Building on a floor is always easier with stairs, so remember to come back before doing the next layer and just do the underside with the stairs as well. The edging that goes over that on both sides to add a little bit of rain cover. Now you could have windows like this with very skinny, or you could break out the bottom block and have just a low angle full block window. Doesn't quite fit. I think more a skinny window would work better. Yeah. Just gonna frame out all the windows like that before continuing the next layer. So I'm going to be working a lot more on the Plains Village after this. As you might have been able to tell if you're keeping up with the different video titles and areas, I've done a lot more with the Woods Camp than the Plains Village so far. So I need to balance that out and try and get the Plains Village to be closer to self-sufficiency. Because right now, the Woodsman's Camp has about 4 different things that make it unique. Plains Village barely has 2. So I'm gonna probably work on giving them a dyer's hut or just a flower plantation for dyes. And then something else, I'm not certain yet. Build it up like that. Make sure to get all the trim. And to do the edge of both sides. instead of doing like a full block or a half block roof, we're just gonna do inversed stairs for this. And now, to give those top panels a bit more depth, I'm gonna do what I usually do, which is just add some oak shelves. Now, for the fireplace, I'm gonna use, let's see, slabs for the front. And then I'm just gonna use normal campfires, as well as one above, to make it look like the smoke is being pulled through the actual chimney itself. If you put one at the top and then surround it with, where is it? You could do shelves. I'm gonna do trapdoors. That it looks like a proper chimney pipe. With smoke coming off of it. There we go. And just putting these as window shutters on the outside of the top layer. There we go. You can do it on the bottom layer as well. Just add a little bit more depth. Now comes to doors. I will be doing spruce doors again because I prefer them. I need to do those from the inside because of how I've set up the top. There we go. Now that the doors are in place, this whole area is enclosed. I could leave it off here, but I'm gonna spend the next little while doing some set dressing. Like breaking out the corners so I can add lanterns. There we go. I know I want this bottom area to be more sale and processing, so I'll probably put a nice sturdy stone table. And I'm gonna pull these out. I think I might connect this to this back beam. I'm not sure if I want this touching the other beams. Yeah, no, that's about right, and I'll just put a fence at the top. Yeah. So lanterns down the length. This is the same log pattern for the second floor that I used on the bunkhouse. Lighting up this back area as well. A stair break on top. Now I am currently playing in peaceful, so there could be some dark spots that I'm not aware of. the more that you light up any building or area, the more condensed the spawns become. So if the entire town is lit up well, then the river and the forest is just completely overfilled. I have a little fishing station here. A little table with a fishing rod on it. There we go. Now for this bottom area. I do want a long stone brick table as part of it, at the very least. And I will connect that to the base of the fireplace. And I know I want a lot of barrels. Possibly some other things. Let's see. Pots, yes, because of the clay from underneath. Chests. There you go. This just allows for a good place for food storage in general, if you were just playing survival. I'm gonna label a couple of these things so that you know what goes in where. Gonna add a couple of different things. Tropical fish is definitely gonna be in the vessels, the clay pots, because they need to be kept for longer. And then I'm just gonna get probably just another iron sword as a cleaning knife next to the cooked cod, so it looks like it's been descaled off the top section. This, at the very least, needs at least a bed, and we'll go from there. A lot of the things in this area are going to be black, because their major dye in this area is very much going to be just squid ink. They can get a little bit of red and a little bit of light purple because of the tall flowers near the bees. But as it's used for the bees, it's going to be a lot less available. So areas like the Plains Village are going to be a lot more colorful with their dyes, and a lot more like just capable of using different colors in general. Put out a little solid block table just so I can put, I could have a cartographer's table and make it a kind of a mapping room, but I want to put an item on that as well. And a little bit of storage. Some storage, crafting table, a little bit more storage, and cartography table. Cartography table is one of those tables that is actually functional. Black candles, because they've got a different kind of look to the normal ones. Having 4 candles is almost as good as having a torch. It's just a little bit lower. And then I'm gonna put a sign out front just to signify this place. For that, I'm gonna need another pillar there. Now I'm not gonna release this first up because there's a couple of different changes I might like to make, and I need to connect this to the other areas. But you hit that with a little bit of glow ink because this area has access to that now. You have a lot more tangible of a sign. So that's a fishmonger's place.